Hey, look who's here. Hey, me, Matt.
Hey, Matt here, and I'm here with Killer Kyle. We're doing a escape thingy, I guess. And for coming soon, Blood and Guts. I swear, by next week, hopefully, we'll be together. But for now, we're gonna be doing Blood and Guts. And yeah, that should be a fun show. I unfortunately missed Dynamite, so...
Yeah, Blood and Guts. It's looking like it's going to be a good show. It's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah.
The big match, you could say, is Pinnacle and the Inner Circle in like a cage match, but I think they're taking the concept of war games,
Yeah.
but maybe do it in a different way.
Right.
We'll see how it goes, but I mean, we've watched war games of NXT,
Yes.
and, it's been really great. I think AEW is going to take, the old school rules of war games, like submission or surrender, you win the match. I don't know what they will do differently. If they do anything differently, we'll have to see, but yeah.
Right on.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
Yep. Alright, so how about we go this first? Because I don't know Britt Baker. I'm not sure when, it just says there's no opponent for her as of right now. So, yeah. They didn't have anything last night, did they?
No. Last few weeks, Britt's been talking about she's #1 ranked person in the women's division as far as rankings is concerned. So that makes her more or less #1 contender for the AEW Women's Championship. So at some point along the lines, Britt Baker and Sheeta, I'm sure we'll have a match for the AEW Women's Championship. It's all just a matter of when.
Right. No, that's true as well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Alright, so now let's go now to a grudge match, I'm assuming, because, I mean, these two were a part of a team in AEW. You've got Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall. So, yeah, that should be an interesting match.
Yeah, QT was a big proprietor and component of the Nightmare family. And I'm sure, helping out the Nightmare Factory and all this other stuff, and I'm sure doing backstage stuff as well for AEW. And then all of a sudden, he just decided he was going to go on his own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was he thought that people would be complaining about the fact that he's in the spot he's in because he's, Cody's friend.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, QT Marshall is very talented. Like, I'm sure you saw, I know I saw several matches of QT's
Yeah.
when he was, God's gift in Ring of Honor. And then didn't really see much of QT after that until he appeared in AEW. And, I'm sure him and Cody have been friends for many years.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure Cody was a big part of QT being in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of confusing with the story. I mean, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's confusing, though. That aside, I'm sure it'll be a really good match. I mean, the exhibition match they had was, okay, it was fairly good, but like a straight up wrestling match.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be absolutely amazing. And not only that, but like the guys that are with QT Marshall, being the factory,
Yeah.
that little group, I'm sure they will excel as well.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm gonna say Cody only because I don't know if QT is there yet. I mean, he's an excellent bad guy, but for right now, I just don't see it. I mean, he's got to have a lot more wins to prove himself. Maybe, I guess. I just don't know.
give QT and his little group some time to really, get somewhere. Heel group and a good storyline and, build them up as heels. I'm sure they'll be, one of the quintessential heel factions, if you will, in that company.
Yeah. Alright, so let's now go on to a triple threat tag team match. SoCal Uncensored versus Jurassic Express versus the Varsity Blondes. Oh, it's a four-way with the Acclaim.
Yeah, it's a four-way match.
Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. And yeah, that should be pretty cool.
I think this might be a number one contender spot.
Oh, yes. Of course.
Yeah, so you got the Acclaim, you got SCU, you got Jurassic Express.
You're right, sorry.
And I'm sure it'll be a really great match. What I saw last night is they are building up a feud with SCU and the Young Bucks.
Right.
So I'm not sure if that's a sign of how this match is going to turn out, because, anything's possible. But,
Right.
all four of those teams are really great teams. And you could the Varsity Blondes, they're a good team. Are they really ready for the tag titles yet? I don't know.
Right.
Acclaimed, same thing. SCU, they've been a really great team together. They were, I think, the second or first tag team champions, like AEW Tag Team Champions.
Right.
And then, Jurassic Express has been a very good team for a long time, and, they would, I think, be really good tag team champions. They are the big fan favorites, if you will.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, with, them seemingly building up a feud with SCU and Young Bucks, I'm not saying that's going to be a big component in what's going to go down with this match, but it just seems like that's the way it's going right now as far as who's going to win the match.
Yeah.
It's really up in the air. It could be anybody's match, really.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I think Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are almost ready. I think they would be good tag team champions for sure.
Oh, yeah.
The Acclaimed, I need to see more from them. SCU, definitely a legendary tag team. In today's world, you have, Frankie and Christopher and TNA for many years. And they did get their feet wet a little bit in WWE, but not very long.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Ring of Honor. So when they come to AEW, Scorpio Sky is no longer there, but, he's no longer with the team.
Yeah.
But, I mean, with these two big, great champions, of course they would. And like you said, they were already tag team champions. Varsity Blondes, it's almost like, and I said this to you before, Hollywood Blondes, Brian Pillman and Steve Austin, of course. So, for me, I would either say Jungle Express or Varsity Blondes. I think it would be interesting to see either one of those teams go over. I think that SCU already had their chance or their shot, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm going to have to say those two teams. And again, I know...
I don't really think it would hurt to see the tag team titles on SCU again.
Right.
But if you're going to put the titles on a fresh tag team, a different tag team hold the titles or go for a chance at the tag titles, go with Jurassic Express.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it's nothing against the Acclaimed or the Varsity Blondes. I just don't think they're ready.
So we're going to talk about this match. We've got a tag team match. We've got Kenny Omega and Michael Tozawa, or Michael Nakam, whatever, Kazuzuki. Yeah. Versus the team of Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. And this should be a good match.
Yes, Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Moxley and Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this basically all has to do with Eddie getting his ankle, they say broken, but I mean, it was only, he did a few promos in a walking boot, and then, he's fine. So I think, for broken, no, not so much. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole thing went down, and then, Moxley and Kingston are looking to get retribution for that. And, go after Omega.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck Nakazawa has anything to do with it, but whatever.
Oh, we haven't seen him in a very long time anyways. as far as I know. I mean, he hasn't wrestled.
Well,
Unless he was on Dark.
He does very much. I think maybe a few matches on Dark. But, like, other than that, no, not really. And he may do a lot more stuff, like, behind the scenes.
Right.
Maybe, like, production or something. But, yeah. I could see Kingston and Moxley getting the win on this one.
Yeah, boy.
Because they more than likely could end up, like, isolating Nakazawa and beating the shit out of him, and yeah.
Yeah, don't get me started about that shit show death match. I mean, like I said, Eddie sold that like no other. So, I like to see them go over as well. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, there it is. Last match, Blood and Guts match. We've got the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. This is gonna be a fucking war.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And I
And
mean,
you know, last night, they had a parlay. Like, what are we, friggin' Pirates of the Caribbean here? And it's like, okay, you have both teams there, and they were going to have a coin toss to see who got the advantage in this match. And it's like, okay, that is, as far as I'm concerned, a bad idea. If you're going to have a coin toss, you have the coin toss to see who's going to start the cage match itself. Or you have a match to see, have two members from both teams, what no matter who it was, have a match. Coin toss, as far as I'm concerned, didn't make sense. Like, oh, whoever wins the coin toss gets the advantage in the match heading into next week. And it's like, okay, if you're going to determine who is going to get the advantage in the match next week, you either wait and do the coin toss before the match itself, either that or have a match with any two members, or with a member of the Pinnacle and a member of the Inner Circle. Whoever wins gets the advantage going into the match next week.
right.
As far as I'm concerned, the coin toss really didn't make much sense. And Dynamite. That aside, they all, well, pretty much all of them, the only people you didn't really hear from was Wardlow and Hager. But I mean, you know, the muscle, they don't really talk all that much.
Right.
And really, they don't need to. You heard from, you know, Santana Ortiz, FTR, Sammy, and Shawn, and then, of course, MJF and Jericho. And they, you know, all had really good promos, you could say, and things they had to say before, you know, heading into next week. And then, you know, what the Pinnacle did to Inner Circle getting their revenge. Everything leading up to, you know, Blood and Guts has been fantastic. It's like you said, the match itself is going to be an absolute war.
Yep.
Who's going to win? I could honestly easily see Pinnacle go over.
Oh, okay.
Only because we've seen what the Inner Circle can do and has done throughout their time in AEW. The Pinnacle is a fairly fresh team. Everybody on that team is a standout from, you know, MJF to Wardlow. Great team. They need something to boost them further into being a heel team, get them to that next level.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I understand. I mean, I'm honestly going to say the Inner Circle, only because, definitely have MJF turn his back on the Inner Circle and make up his own team. And, they've been kicking ass for a few weeks. If Inner Circle doesn't get redemption, then when is a good time? Because I think there's a lot of reasons that they should get the win. It's going to be a back and forth feud. It's going to be a hell of a war, but it's going to be a good feud. So, I mean, who knows? I missed the fucking Hogs, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Either way, it's going to be a good match and definitely a good show.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it for sure. And
Yeah.
the next time we meet is going to be the season premiere of Wheels of Fury. Whether that's a look back at last year's Backlash or the fucking WrestleMania Backlash, who knows. But it is either way going to be the season premiere of Wheels of Fury. I know last year it was a bit late because of the pandemic and I wasn't here, so...
Yeah.
But, yeah, so anyways, this is going to be a good show, and I mean Matt, this is Killer Kyle, and we will talk to you next time. Deuces.
See ya.
So you know that them cutting WCW was a long time coming. But I think that there's this myth out there that Jamie Keller that's why he took pleasure in cutting WCW. I don't think that's the case at all. Because if you look at some of his earlier interviews, like